Welcome back to Road to FIRE. We're a family of four documenting our journey to FIRE, financial independence, retire early. Let's chat about 4 ways to reach FIRE. I will share details on each pathway, our current FIRE strategy, and why we changed our plans with all the numbers like always, so please hang with me. Now, we still plan to reach FIRE in 5.5 years. I'm not sure if that is fast or slow, but our journey started in 2019, and we are 100% financially focused on this goal. When we found FIRE, I wanted to be given the blueprint on how to reach FIRE fast. What steps do I need to take and when to become financially independent and quit my job? Since then, things have changed. Our family has expanded, I love my current job, and my heart for giving has exploded. Now, we still are working towards financial independence, but probably not the retire early part. In fact, most people in the FI community don't quit their jobs outright without having some other form of income outside of their portfolio. And after following so many podcasts, financial gurus, and reading books in the space, I found that there really are just a few common pathways to FIRE. Now, there are behavior things that need to be changed or shifted, and a whole lot of money psychology aspects to be adjusted. But to get to FIRE or financial independence, there are just a few strategies one can take. Now, I've also noticed that one pathway isn't really better than the other, and it depends on many different factors such as your income, location, family size or dependence, long-term goals, and of course, how you want to live your life now. There is always the tug-of-war between deprivation today versus ultimate freedom later. We've played on this tightrope and have found a good balance that works for us. But before choosing a FIRE path or strategy, outline your why for FIRE first. This helped us develop the strategy that works best for us, and we are happy with what we've chosen so far. But here are the 4 common ways to reach FIRE quickly. So number 1 is investing in real estate. This FIRE strategy focuses on building wealth primarily with real estate. Now, there are many different ways you can enter into real estate with different risk levels. This list isn't exhaustive. But some common options are REITs or real estate investment trusts. There is house hacking, which we did for about 1.5 years or so, where you own a property and have someone else pay you rent for living in a portion of your home. We did this through a duplex as we rented out the bottom unit. You can do live-in flips if you're handy and you can manage the cost. You can leverage the BRRRR method or buy, rehab, rent, refinance, or repeat. You can also dabble into long-term or short-term rental options that come with their own sets of pros and cons. And if you have additional cash on hand, you can get into syndications, which is when a group of private investors form together to handle a larger real estate transaction that would be impossible to execute individually. Now, there are many options to get into real estate, but here are some of the overall pros and cons. Some high-level pros of real estate investing. It provides a fast pathway to FIRE if done correctly and the numbers are run. The returns are quick and you can live off your passive income faster than the other pathways. The options are flexible and based on your ability or your risk level. And as you build a portfolio, leverage can become a good option. But some quick cons. Real estate can be very labor intensive, it's less diversified than other pathways, and there's high barriers to entry as the initial cost to get a loan or your down payment can be really hard to save up for. Also, property management can be more active than passive, especially with tenants for short-term rentals. But despite these cons, real estate will always be a strong pathway to building long-term wealth. So number 2 is investing in the market. This pathway requires that you open an investment portfolio and fund it to generate enough passive income to cover your expenses and essentially become financially independent. You decrease your expenses as much as you can and save or invest the rest to build long-term passive income. And your portfolio's asset allocation will determine your timeline to FIRE and long-term stability. You will also have to manage your risk and determine how to build the best portfolio that aligns with your overall financial goals. But here are some quick options available. There are index funds, which are a diversified array of investments pulled together to mimic an index. There are individual growth stocks that provide high returns but also higher risk. You can also work to build a dividend-focused portfolio to eventually live off dividends in early retirement. You might look into alternative investments like Bitcoin, and of course, there might be a need to create a portfolio with bonds. Now, creating the right mix is important. Now, here are some high-level pros to this pathway. First, it can be started immediately or with low barriers to entry. Opening up a brokerage account today can be done in just a few minutes. You can also leverage tax advantage options through your company or your job to build long-term wealth. Investing in the market is truly passive. You can just set it and forget it. Now, of course, there are some cons. Investing requires patience and time to fully receive the benefits of compound interest. And with everything, there is always risk associated with investing because past performance does not predict future performance. You also have to invest large portions of your income or increase your saving rates to get to that early retirement stage. The 10 to 15% benchmark isn't going to work if you want to retire early. Now, despite these cons, this pathway has proven to be the most common for those in the FIRE community. Now, number 3 is starting a business. You can start a business to help generate more income, or you can start a business to develop passive income for early retirement. Starting a business can be a great vehicle to reaching FIRE if done right and aligns with your long-term financial goals. For me, all additional business income we generate will help us fund our investment accounts. My husband, on the other hand, created a business to eventually generate passive income in the future. Now, there are many different types of businesses you can start, such as owning a franchise, becoming a solo entrepreneur, joint ventures or partnerships. I like to add in side hustles because at any scale, a side hustle could become a business, consulting, and of course, opening up a nonprofit. Now, if this is your pathway, find the right business that fits your skills and your long-term goals. But like anything else, there are pros and cons to starting a business. Some of the pros: there are low barriers of entry. Anyone can start a business, and costs can be very minimal to begin depending on the type of business you open. The growth potential can be endless and based on your own individual work ethic. Some businesses can be passive from the start and operated anywhere. Now, on the flip side, starting a business takes a lot of upfront time and sometimes costs. And it also takes a long time to build a brand, create content, be consistent, and create a product that has an audience to serve. And to be frank, in the beginning, most businesses fail, so finding the right one can be daunting with a lot of trial and error that can be costly. Some businesses may be more active than passive, requiring more day-to-day hours than desired. But with the endless growth opportunities, starting a business, especially a scalable passive business, can be perfect for achieving financial independence and onwards. And so I've tried my hand at entrepreneurship. I tried it right out of undergrad selling purses. I even sold baby clothes and was looking to open a full-time shop. I tried to develop a blog also that eventually turned into an online magazine. I've done several other things that I'm too embarrassed to share, and they all failed, and they cost me thousands. I'm not the traditional entrepreneur. I'm more so talking about creating a product and selling it. I'm just not a good salesperson. I've tried it and it just doesn't work for me. Now, my husband, on the other hand, he is born to be an entrepreneur. He has so many ideas, some that have worked and many that have not, but there isn't a day when he doesn't wake up with a new thought on a new business. I've grown to love it. For what I cannot be, he is, and this keeps us balanced. Now, our original FIRE plan was to go into real estate 100%. We live in a low cost of living area, so getting a duplex under $200,000 was still plausible for us. The first duplex I purchased back in 2011 or 2012 was just about $145,000 and over 3,000 square footage. And it was my first taste into real estate, and I loved it. Despite having to evict 2 tenants, the profits were rolling in. As things shifted and changed in the economy, our personal life as well, we soon realized we were not able to reach that 10 doors in 10 years as we planned. I'm glad we decided, because managing that many doors with 2 kids would have been very hard for us. Now, it's okay to shift and adjust. Our strategy is set now, but that doesn't mean it won't change in the next 4 years. I'm learning and beginning to realize that trying to copy or mimic someone else's journey who reached FIRE won't work for us. We had to craft our own strategy, and so far it's been working. Now, the number 4 pathway is to do a combination. And I'm sure this is probably the most common pathway, but mixing it up is probably the best balance for us. You don't need to create one linear pathway to FIRE. You can start a business and invest in the market simultaneously. You can invest in real estate and invest in the market. Or you can even start a business and invest in real estate. There are endless amount of options you can do. You can even break it down by percentages to get even more personalized. A lot of time, the pathway out of debt or to financial independence are always outlined in specific stages or steps. We must follow step 1 to get to step 2, then get to step 3, and so forth. But more than not, that doesn't work for everyone. Personal finance, again, is personal. Build a plan that fits you, especially if the standard approach doesn't work for you. I found this pathway to be the best for us, as it provides us with the right mix of leverage, growth, and flexibility aligning with our timeline and long-term financial plan. Okay, so here's our current FIRE strategy. We originally had a plan solely focused on investing in real estate heavily. Yes, we would have still contributed to our tax-advantaged work accounts, but real estate was our goal back in 2019. Now today, our plan has swung the other way. So 90% of our strategy, or maybe 80% of our strategy, is focused on investing in the market. We have a goal to hit $2.7 million in the next 5.5 years, and we are about 25% to that goal today. Okay, the second part of our plan is to create a passive income. And this is all my husband. He makes apps, websites, subscription programs, and courses all the time. So we're hoping one of those platforms start generating consistent income soon. And the last part is long-term rentals. I still review local listings and I'm in constant contact with our agent just to see how the market is going where we live. Right now we have one unit and I'm open to getting another one shortly. Now this is our strategy today, and I can't stress the word today as I know things might change. But I'm happy with where we are now, and I'm beginning to be more open to change and adjustment, which is new for me as a recovering perfectionist. Okay, so what strategy are you taking to reach FIRE? What is your lead pathway today? Share down in the comments. I'm definitely curious. Is real estate your thing, or is all of your money funneled into the market? Before even starting your FIRE journey, outline your financial goal. What do you want financial independence to look like? Do you want to work part-time? Are you okay with not working at all? Do you see yourself staying at your job, or do you plan to quit right when you reach financial independence? Then ask yourself, why are you pursuing financial independence? Is it to leave your job or to start a new passion project? Do you aspire to switch careers? And then keep going through all the questions. This should help you figure out what strategy works best for you. Before we set or start any goal, we ask ourselves these questions to better create and outline specific yet tangible goals for our finances. And it's hard to not create a copycat plan. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to follow what worked for others, but make sure it aligns with where you want to be. To be honest, we created our initial strategy or plan based on what one financial guru did. It seemed simple enough, and guess what? It didn't work for us. We then went back and had that nitty-gritty conversation about what FI meant to us and finally aligned our strategy that made the most sense for us overall. 2024 will be a key year for us. If things go as planned, then I don't foresee any strategy changes, but if not, then we'll probably need to make some large shifts if we want to stay on our timeline. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time.